this little video, it's very short, it's probably like less than 2 minutes. I was showing you how to merge layers, okay? So what the part of the process that we're in right now is that we have traced the person, which is you, the face, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, hair, and the next step is we go to the background and we divide our background into different sections. Okay, let me close this real quick. I want you to, oops, I wanted to, I'll get there one day. I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of tech savvy, but one of these days I'll be better at this. Looks like my program shut down. Okay, so just to describe what we're doing here, we drew all this, and then we took lines and started next to like the subject of the picture, which is you, like the drawing of the person, and we're going to use lines to draw from the person to the outer corner. You want to divide your background up into at least 10 different sections, and they don't have to be like all like mine. So what that means is you're going to draw at least 5 lines. So this would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm an overachiever. So you want to do at least 5 lines to divide up your background. And what that will do is it will create at least 10 sections so that you can put the pattern in there. Okay. So I want to repeat that. So for the background, we want to divide the background into at least 10 sections. And you can do more. Okay. But in order to achieve the 10 sections, we have to use at least 5 lines. And then you can see that after I divided these out, I subdivided that section into 3. I know it's a little early in the morning for math, and don't worry, I'm not going to go algebra on you, but I just wanted you to know that how to achieve the 10 different sections. If you have more than 10 different sections, that's fine. But the next step is, after you divide the background into the 10 different sections or more, you're going to put a different pattern into each of these sections. Okay, so a pattern is where you're repeating a line, shape, color, form, motif. So here I repeated squares. This I repeated roses, hearts, the firebender symbol from the last Avatar, or the last Airbender, circles, stripes, and then I was trying to make like a rubber duck here, but it started looking a little weird, so I just added some really long legs. Okay, and so and then this is just a stripe pattern, and so I still need to do another pattern here and here and here, and that's going to fill in my background. Okay, now the why that we're doing this is not only does it help us practice using this computer program, but Romero Britto used a variety of patterns in his foreground and his background. And in this case, the foreground would be my face. It would be the person. Okay. Now I know some of you have already subdivided it. You're working on adding your patterns. But what do you do when you get finished with adding the patterns? Well, I'm going to show you. You're going to merge the layers of your background. Okay, merge just means that you're gonna, it's kind of like gluing them together. Okay, so I was trying to make it interesting by zooming in. Now that was an example that I already used, but if you look and you click in that center circle and pull down, it's going to merge with the one below. But what if you have layers that you don't want anymore and you don't want to merge them? You can click and move those around. Okay, you can even delete them. If you click in the center and pull to the trash can, it's going to be gone. Okay, now I'm merging the background to the foreground. You only want to do that if you're sure that you are ready to start adding color. Now, what I did here was I made a duplicate layer of my picture. So that basically means that everything I drew on this layer here, I just copied it to that layer. Now, it's important, there's an important reason why that we did that. It's because we're not going to do anything to this layer on the top because we want the black lines to continue to show up. What we're going to do to this second layer is we're going to start using the fill tool to start dumping color into there. Okay. So like I was saying here, not doing anything to this top one because we don't want the black lines to get messed up. But we're going to go down here to the second one and we're going to start adding color. Now, I can click here and, you know, some of that's kind of distracting. I can delete that. Okay. Remember, I'm not doing anything to this one. If you're concerned that you might accidentally paint on this top layer, if you lock it, there's a little lock here. If you click on it and lock it, you won't be able to do anything to it. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to get my fill tool. I'm also going to get the Copic library. Any color, this is actually pretty cool. Any color that you can think of. It's like those really expensive Copic markers that are like $8 a piece. We have them in this design program. So say I want a red face or whatever. Okay, I can click here. Okay. Oh, hold on now. That wasn't supposed to happen. My bad. There. And then I might be able to click over here. And now that looks a little pink. I might, now the only reason that I'm able to drop that paint in there is because I have the fill tool and I created, no. My lines are closed up, but it doesn't look like they are. Dun, 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 dun. I'll come back to that. Okay. And then if I want the lips that color, so we're going to go back and zoom in and fill in certain areas with that color. Now I can do the same thing with the I don't know what kind of birds those are. Who can tell me a color that they think these birds should be? I'm going to open up the chat. You don't have to say it out loud if you want to, unless you want to. What color should I make this bird?
Hey, Ms. Dennis, this is Jeremiah.
Hey, Jeremiah.
So perhaps it could be sort of like a variety of colors, like maybe light blue and yellow and some other colors.
Let me show you a secret to that. You see this tool right here? The fill tool, it comes up. I'm so glad you mentioned that. There's other options. If you click on that, okay, what that's going to have is like a gradient of colors. So if I click in here, okay, I can move these circles around. Why didn't it just go in the duck? I don't know. Let's go back. I'll show you on my shirt. Okay, and you can move these like this. But say I don't want it to be white, gray, and black. I double click in here and I can choose that color. If I click in here, I mean, so what do the young folks say? The ombre? I can also do and then hit the check mark and I can make my shirt like that. Okay. I don't know why my my weirdo bird isn't going to do it. Let's see. I'm going to try a solid color for him. Her. It. You know what it is? The bird is not closed up. Somewhere there is a mark on for that bird. There's an opening somewhere. Yep. I'm gonna have to go back and work on that. My lines aren't good enough. So if that happens to you, like the whole thing gets filled in with the wrong color, you know that you need to go back and fix that. Nope, I'm done with that. Oh, now that's kind of pretty. Look. Oops. Means that you have to zoom in real close. Now, this one doesn't work because if I zoom in real close, you're going to see that there's some pixels that are not colored in with the black. So put the check mark off of here. And I'm going to have to go back and get my black ink, which is 110. And I'm going to also get my trusty line here and here. Now I will try it again. But I got to change my colors back. Oh, so I fixed it. And then I could come up with a really cool contrasting color. So these are all cool colors. I could make this like a yellow. See how that makes them pop if you have like warm colors versus cool colors. Okay. So I am going to have to go back in and check my birds because those are not the right color. So today, like when you're starting to add color, you will use the fill tool, and then you can get your Copic colors from your menu tab here, and you can choose like each one has like 10 varieties of a color. That's a pretty green. And this is going to be super easy to fill in. Okay. What would be a good color to contrast with the green? I've got my chat up if you guys want to. Ooh, red. Okay. Actually, those are complementary colors. So we'll do like a pink. Pink is a form of red. Now, when we get finished, all of this is going to be filled in. There will not be any white space left. And this is going to be so much easier than say, when you guys, like my last class, they had to do this in color pencil. It does make it a little bit harder. There we go. Can't even leave the, maybe the whites of your eyeball and your teeth. That will be the white space. Okay. I'm gonna go back to our meeting now. All right.